Morning.
Right. Good morning. Yeah.
We were
Right now,
just talking about how early it is.
it's crazy.
I know.
We're
I
not early people. I'm not.
oh man. Thanks so much for getting up though. I appreciate it. You know, I know it's tough over here in our central time getting up when it's dark
Yeah.
time and everything as we're getting ready to
Always
change
just
the
start.
oh gosh. But anyways, and now you got your let me turn this I know it's
Oh,
tough
that's
over
terrible.
here in
Look how.
our central time, getting up and it's dark time. Okay, good to go. So we can get our comments in. Anyways, and now you got your there's a
Uh,
yeah,
there
get the
it
speaker off. Yeah. So, anyways, it's yeah, we were talking about how dark it was, but you were talking about how tired you were. Now,
is.
MaryAnn, you are like founder, CEO, started your own business, amazing, and you were just talking about going to trade shows, and it's just what you've started and are doing now is incredible for people's health. It's just new
Thank you.
technology, so interesting. So you got to talk all about it. I know there's people that need to know about this, and like, how did that get started? Tell us all
Yeah.
about it.
All right. All right. I'll tell you a little bit about how I got here. Like, I used to work at Motorola Solutions back in Chicago. Love that place. So many great people. But I started getting healthy and learning all this stuff on my own. I'm like, oh, I got to leave and just go be more official, learn more about nutrition and health, and help more people. But so when I was going through nutrition school, and they touched on blood work, and I'm a techie nerd. So I just got so crazy into it. I started making my own spreadsheet, automating it, learning about all the markers and what they mean, because they never tell any of us anything about our blood. And when you go to the doctor, they don't explain any of it to you. And so as I started going through it, and then I started working with clients, and all I wanted to do was just look at their blood work and give them an analysis, and then I started doing that for my other colleagues, helping them look at their clients' blood work and making sense of what it means, looking at different patterns, and then I thought, well, maybe I should make this into software, and so it could be easily used by other practitioners instead of just doing it all myself. So I've done this before at Motorola, where they let me hire a team, and they had the money to build the software. So this time it's all me doing it, using my own money to make this software. But what the software does is, you enter the results from your lab work, from LabCorp, Quest, wherever you get results from, put it in there, and it plots the values on these nice color coded bar graphs with these optimal reference ranges. I'll explain that, what that means. So, when you go get your blood work, there's these reference ranges on there, but
Yeah.
those reference ranges are made up of 95% of the population tested at that lab. So
Mhm.
who goes and gets their blood work done? A lot of people who aren't healthy. So those ranges are made up of unhealthy data. So at the lower and higher ends of those ranges, they don't really represent optimal health. And in our world of functional medicine, holistic health, there's this thing called optimal ranges. It's a tighter set of reference ranges that are really represent optimal health. And so if you fall inside or outside of that optimal range, there's some sort of imbalances in your body, imbalance or dysfunction, and you
Mm.
want to try to catch those and be more proactive with your health before they fall outside of those lab ranges. Once they're outside of the lab range, then there's justification for a drug, or there's some sort of disease at that point, and so you want to try to catch it early. So with my software, you enter the values, plots it on this report, and then I do a lot of automated pattern recognition around different conditions and different possible root causes of condition. So it'll help you figure out quickly why you may have something, and why the reason why you might have that condition. So I've been, going around trying to. I made it for practitioners, and they use it. I have a good amount of customers who use it already, but I'm also offering it to consumers too, just because the same old story. When you go to the doctor, they look at your blood work and the doctor's like, oh, everything looks normal. Well, yeah, but you feel like crap and your value's like way up at the top. Like
Yeah.
that's not normal. There's some imbalances going on. And they're not really trained either to look in depth at what these things mean. And they only know, okay, oh, glucose is, over 100, or okay, let's give you some insulin or something. There's a whole world out there that can look at these tighter set of optimal ranges for your markers and try to catch imbalances and dysfunctions before they become disease. So that's my goal out here, is to try to help people, empower them to take control of their own health by really understanding what their blood means. So
That's amazing. Give me a example of something that really is a range that can be such a big variance between what you're saying, the like kind of the super unhealthy to the healthy.
Yeah, like let's say TSH, that's one marker for thyroid production, that the pituitary tells the thyroid through TSH how much thyroid hormone to produce. The range in the lab ranges are like 0.5 to 4.5. That's way too wide. An optimal range you want that TSH in is 1 to 2. And in my software, I back up every range with studies. So it's not like we're making this stuff up. So if your TSH is above 2, there's something else going on in the thyroid physiology. And all the conventional doctor wants to do is say, oh, your TSH gives over 4.5. Let's just give you T4 hormone, and then the body will just correct itself. No, I mean, that's just masking the symptom of why is your pituitary telling your thyroid to make more thyroid hormone, not just give you more thyroid hormone. Figure out why. So there's a whole set of thyroid hormone markers that they should be running: T4 total, T4 free, T3 total, T3 free, and the thyroid antibodies, the TPO and thyroglobulin antibodies. And a lot of times the problem is that there are antibodies against the thyroid hormone that are attacking the thyroid mistakenly, because maybe you're eating gluten, different things like that. There could be Epstein-Barr virus. So there's reasons why your thyroid isn't making enough hormone, and you don't just give more hormone. But you could give more hormone until you figure out the root cause, but nobody ever figures out the root cause. They just let you take hormone, and then they have to give you up your dose and you stay on stuff forever and never figure out why. So that's just one of them. Another one's glucose. You really should have a glucose between like 82 and 80. Once you're getting in the 90s, there's some sort of insulin resistance going on that you really want to check into that. Another one is cholesterol. A cholesterol 200 is okay. Even as you get older, 240. I mean, cholesterol is the precursor to all of these steroid hormones. So you need cholesterol, and suppressing cholesterol is a terrible thing to do. Cholesterol is there to, also help with inflammation. So the root cause of really high cholesterol is inflammation. And so the body is producing more cholesterol to help, soothe out the artery linings, because there's inflammation damaging that lining. So you don't want to suppress cholesterol. So that's another. I could go on and on. There's so many different markers and things that people are, kind of led astray on, what they should be doing for their health. And it's really not a drug to mask a symptom. That's not the way to go. And so the software, I offer not just to practitioners now, since I would call myself an expert in looking at blood work, and I can look at somebody's blood work, put it in my software, give them a report, and write up my analysis of what I find. A lot of times, I'm like vitamin D. The range for vitamin D is, they say, like 30. You need a vitamin D at least around 50, maybe 60, 70, 80. When you have a vitamin D around 30 or below, that's not supportive of your immune system. And we know there's so many different studies that show it. People with higher vitamin D are less susceptible to, that nasty thing that's been going around out there. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
with
And how come, I think there's always this funny question about vitamin D. It's like, well, how come you can't just go outside and stand in the sunshine for 5 minutes and get enough?
yeah,
Why is that?
you need that. When you're outside, you need like peak sun, maybe about 20 minutes. And you don't want to wash yourself off after you get that sun, because the skin, there's stuff on the skin that takes a while to absorb that sun into the blood. I met a couple at the show that they go and do like low dose tanning for like 20 minutes, or maybe I think it was 10 minutes or something, really just low dose. That, I mean, if you can getting out in the sun is good, but you need it longer than 5 minutes, like 20 minutes at peak
Mhm.
time. And don't wash yourself off after you do that. Um, but I mean, I take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D every day, because
Yeah.
I don't get out in the sun as much as I should, because I'm not always in front of my computer.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that what was the precursor that got you to the point of saying this is such a big need? What happened?
Just hearing people saying the same thing, like, oh, my doctor tells me I'm normal, but my numbers are normal, but I don't really feel normal. There's something going on with me. And it's because of the ranges, and nobody gets explained that information. So I don't know, I felt like, and because it's kind of techie a little bit, looking at numbers, doing pattern analysis and stuff, and I thought, oh, this is so cool. I love it, I'm passionate about it, and there's such a need to get this explained to everybody. And also, like, I can order blood work as well. Like, I can send you to a LabCorp anywhere near you. You don't have to always go to your doctor to get blood work and fight
Wow.
with them to order more than TSH, or fight with them to order vitamin D. They're always, I was just with my mom the other day,
Yeah.
and she made me get on the phone with her doctor to explain to her that she needs a complete thyroid panel. And they're like, well, I don't know if it'll cover it. I'm like, well, she has hypothyroidism. That's what you said. We can order the complete panel. We're always fighting with our doctors to try to
Yeah.
order the things that we need. And I want people to know that there's other ways to get their blood work done. I mean, of course, it's out of pocket and you got to pay, because
Yeah.
insurance only covers what's written up by a doctor, and doctors don't want to spend enough time. They could just write other diagnosis codes on there to get it covered by insurance, but a lot of them just don't want to spend the time to do it. So if anybody out there needs blood work, don't want to go to their doctor, are tired of fighting with them, I can order, and I know all the right tests to order, not just your basics. I mean, they order the CBC, CMP, lipid panel, TSH, but there's a lot more markers that we should be ordering to really get a complete picture of what's going on in the body. And then you can go from there. If TSH is high, then maybe we order a complete thyroid panel. If there's some abnormalities in the lipids, I mean, in the lipid panel, the triglycerides is really the most important one. If you have triglycerides over 100, even, there's mainly diet. I mean, it's mostly
Yeah.
carbohydrates that are causing that to be high. A lot of times people don't want to hear that mostly everything starts with diet. And if you could just tweak that, things would
Yeah.
be better. But yeah, it's exciting. I love it. And I want to spread the word to everybody that they have alternatives, and they're not crazy when their doctor says everything looks normal and they still don't feel normal. Those lab ranges are not really optimal. And so,
Mm. Mm. Have you run into people that have a significant, potential disease? Even I reflect back, MaryAnn, on cancer, and I would get these, just, an enormous list of letters, right? That represented this or that or the other thing. And there were certain ones, and like, I want to say ALC or all these kind of things. And it would just be, it would definitely be daunting, right? And all you would see was this broad range that, potentially might be over to the not good or over to the, like seemed like it was good, but it was a pretty broad range. And, I think not really knowing where you sit with that, I know for me, I would curse over that thing, really go over it and over it, but I still never felt like I really knew anything,
Yeah.
about
Go
it.
searching the internet to find out what the
Oh
markers
yeah.
mean.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah. I was Dr. Internet for sure. But I didn't try to self-diagnose too much, but just even like, what do these initials mean, right? There
Right.
wasn't even anything on that blood work that said, what is this? How do I even know that it's like blood? you know?
Yeah, right. They don't even explain. There's nothing on the report that explains what any of that stuff means. And you should know, because
Right.
that's how you understand where your
Yeah.
health is. Yeah, it's unfortunate that, and the doctors, they're so strapped. They don't have time. They have 5 minutes with
Yeah.
you, so they have no time to explain. And if you go to the nurse and office staff, they don't understand any of it. So hopefully I can change that and help people understand their blood work a little better.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing. So tell me about, you go to trade shows. What kind of trade shows have you been going to spread knowledge about this software and what you provide?
Yeah, I was at a trade show at a school of pharmacists. That was interesting. And before that, I was in a trade show for Weston A. Price. It's a group of health minded people. They support raw milk, Amish farmers, grass fed meat, and just living healthy, eating whole foods type of lifestyle. And that's where I launched my consumer offering, because I initially
Oh,
made
neat.
this software for practitioners, and it's still for practitioners. And I've been to naturopathic conferences, chiropractic conferences, chiropractors who spend some time focusing on nutrition, and any alternative type of practitioner. Functional medicine is a big one. It's even medical doctors who decide that the conventional medical model isn't for them, and they really want to, it's not a drug to mask a symptom. They really want to figure out the root cause, and functional medicine is big with that, and trying to help you figure out the root cause. And it all starts with looking at blood first. But this Weston A. Price one is the first one where I launched my consumer offering. And so I was talking to all sorts of health-minded people, giving me all sorts of stories about, oh, I fired my doctor, he doesn't listen to me. I fight with my doctor, he doesn't order the test I want. And they were so excited to know that there's alternatives
Yeah.
to getting blood work done. And I had 3 people order blood work right on site there with me. And we look up, oh yeah, there's a LabCorp right there. We can go and get your blood work. I get the requisition. They have a doctor on staff, so I create the report, whatever test I want. They generate the requisition, send it to me with their doctor's signature. I give it to the user. They go to the local LabCorp, and I get the results back, put it in my software, and so I would love to. That's the goal, is really to help consumers, just
Yeah.
everyday people,
Yeah.
understand that there's more to their blood work than is getting explained to them. But I do like going to different practitioner trade shows as well. But that
Yes.
consumer one was pretty fun.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. And let
Yeah.
me ask you this. So when you get back with the consumer and you talk to them about their results, and so is some of this, is the course to help them be able to go back to that doctor and say, hey, these, I got this blood, to get more in depth, to kind of dive down in those answers. Do you provide like holistic alternatives towards other doctors, or a combination?
Yeah, well, I'll write up my analysis of the results. I'll look at the results and pick out different areas of imbalances that I see, and write up what I'm finding, give them a few recommendations on next steps on where to go, maybe additional testing. But as I don't really work with clients so much anymore, because I'm spending most of my time working on my software, but I have a lot of users who use my software who do work with clients, so I will refer out to them say, if you want to learn more, if you want to, figure out how you can get these numbers back in line, here's a list of different practitioners that I know and trust that I would send them to. And they can take the report to their doctor. I don't know if they may be like, well, I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't, but at least they could also take the bibliography of the references of where all these where I got the studies to show how I got these ranges, if their doctor's willing. And most of the time they're not. And that's why a lot of people are leaving the conventional medical space and moving and finding alternative health practitioners, functional medicine practitioners. There's the Institute for Functional Medicine University, naturopathic doctors out there, all sorts of alternatives now where people can go and really work with people who really try to get at the root cause. That's like the whole thing in this functional medicine space, is we're trying to get to the root cause of why you have that symptom, and not just, give you a drug to mask that symptom.
Sure. And do you find, mostly because I read about this all the time, do you find that many things revert right back to some form of inflammation, like just an inflammation?
Yeah, there's a lot of inflammation. It's a symptom, and a cause, but there's some basic kind of root causes of everything. Like there's a lot of Epstein-Barr out there, a lot of underlying chronic infections. There's a lot of heavy metal toxicity, chemical toxicity. There's all sorts of tests that we can do in addition to blood. Blood is the first one. And then we look and say, oh, okay, there could be some sort of toxicity here. Let's run a urine test, organic acids with a toxicity test, where we test the urine and see for all sorts of different chemicals. We could test the urine for different heavy metals, and chemicals, heavy metals are a lot of, and glyphosate. Eating non-organic food, I mean, that's all, that food is sprayed with glyphosate, which is Roundup. People are out there spraying Roundup to kill their weeds. That stuff's getting into the water and poisoning our food in that way. But there's farmers out there spraying. When farmers have to wear hazmat suits to go out and spray the food, that stuff, we're eating that stuff. So I try my best to eat only organic food. And it's hard to do that when you're out, really, when you're traveling. But when you're home, it's worth the extra money to ensure that you're not, even when you buy organic food, though, the neighbor down the street could be spraying and getting on your food. Also, people don't like to hear this one, but if you see the chemtrails in the sky, that's not condensation. That they're spraying aluminum out there for some crazy reason all over the sky. That aluminum is getting into our food in that way. So we're getting hit from the ground, from the air. So it's hard to stay healthy, even with what's going on. You can do your best to try to eat healthy, and that's one of the things you could try to do, is eat as healthy as you can. And eating healthy food is like the first step, and then living a good healthy lifestyle. Mindfulness, meditation is good. But back to your point of inflammation, a lot of what's going on, and the root cause of a lot of things are what's happening in our environment, exposures to ourselves that then cause that inflammation that causes different dysfunctions in the body. So trying to calm down that inflammation by reducing exposures to certain things is a good way to go.
Are there that is so interesting and sad.
It's overwhelming to think about it.
But there has to be some form of countermeasure, as well as like eating clean, but is there also we were talking about like vitamin D, things that are beneficial.
Sweating. So I have a sauna, an infrared sauna. I try to get in there as often as I can to sweat it out. But if you can get outside and just run and sweat or do whatever kind of exercise to make you sweat, that's how your body releases those toxins. So sweating is a really good way to go. Let me think what else.
We
What
don't
else?
have a lot of problem with that here in Texas, that's for
I
sure.
know, right? Just go outside for a walk in the summer. And
Right. I'm not sure if I told anybody, like, you're located in Dallas, right?
yeah, I'm north of
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
so we're both in Texas. That's good. A lot of my neighbors are from California. Everyone's moving from California to Texas.
yeah, yeah.
But it's a great state. I like it. I didn't grow up here, but I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan.
That's okay.
Don't hold it against me.
I'm a fair weathered fan over here, so I live in Houston, so I just pick the closest team, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, and aren't they in the World Series at
The
Houston?
Yeah, the Astros are in the World Series right now,
Well,
so
that's fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is so fun. I gotta ask you something though. You gave a presentation at the Nutritional Therapy Institute last year. And that was interesting to me because it was called nutritional therapy. And I don't think you say healthy eating, right? But to call it nutritional therapy was so just a fascinating word, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what is that about? And
Yeah,
how is
that's
that
that's a
offered?
school, Nutritional Therapy Institute. Yeah, they do a good job there. It's a teaching practitioners on how to eat healthy and make the right choices, so then they can go out there and teach others. So yeah, yeah, it's an interesting way to say it, nutritional therapy. But when you can eat right, it fixes the gut, which a lot of serotonin is made in the gut, and serotonin is a mood, in enhancing neurotransmitter, and so a lot of depression and anxiety and things can be corrected just through eating, because a lot of that is made in the gut. So many different things come through, improvements come through better eating, whole foods, mainly whole foods, vegetables and plants, and everybody has their own different diets around like meat or not meat, and
Yeah.
it's all about whatever is good for your own body. Like, if you feel like meat's not good for you, then you don't eat it. But if you feel better when you eat meat, grass fed and grass finished, because they say grass fed, but it really should be grass finished, because when they say grass fed, sometimes the last 2 weeks of their life, they'll feed them a bunch of grains and fatten them up, and that
Mhm.
changes the structure of different molecules. And so grass finished. So go into your local farmer. We drive 45 minutes downtown Dallas farmers market. We found a good local farmer, get to know them. We know how they handle their meat, and then local farmers up north, we go and get our vegetables. We know that they don't spray them with anything, and it supports the local community too. But being able to buy local is really important. And in this world of, even banking local, like we got our money out of Chase, and we're in a local bank, and we want to support our local community too, and support the businesses who, don't censor people for their views. So that's pretty important too.
That's amazing. That's even better. Yeah, the local community is so important because otherwise we don't have one if we don't support it. So,
Right. Mhm.
really good point too, because there are a lot of farmers markets almost everywhere, to go and get, fresh choices. I would call it fresh meats, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and then getting to know them. Had never heard of grass finished, so
Oh, yeah.
that's neat. I'm going to have to delve into that. But
Yeah.
how interesting! So great question to know to ask. As you get to know that, and of course, we have a ton of farms that provide meats and
Yeah.
local um,
It is good
I'm
to
calling
support.
it a farm, a ranch, I guess.
Yeah, the ranchers. Yep.
Whatever you
Kentucky
call it, where them
ranchers.
cows are. Yeah, yeah. So
And
that's
it gets
fascinating.
out the middleman too, you know, and then
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
where your food comes from. And
yeah,
it's neat. There's even a little farm up here where you can go pick your own berries and your own vegetables, and that's pretty cool. And so you go in season, pick your blackberries, blueberries, get a whole bunch of them, put them in the freezer, and then you have them for the winter.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah. That is a great idea. That is
Yeah.
wonderful.
But it all starts with blood. I mean, everybody has some sort of blood work that they
Yeah,
got from their doctor. If they need more information about it, they can look me up on my website at labsmarts.com. And yeah, I'm happy to help anybody make sense of their blood work.
that's fantastic. Thank you so much, MaryAnn. I feel like I could delve into like just a ton more questions, and maybe next time we'll go through like a sample. I didn't think about that, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll get a sample and get you to kind of talk about that. But I want to make sure, be sure to put your contact information in the chat and how people can get hold of you so that they can know how to delve into this and get their
Yeah.
blood work ordered and what's going on. And let's see, we had Tina stop by. Hi, Tina. Good to see you as
Yeah.
always.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all will have to connect. She's fantastic. She's in New York.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I
uh,
haven't been here for a while.
I know that there's a friend of mine that's been on the show, Tina Bakehouse, too. I was thinking about y'all two should connect. She's got a farm in, I think, Nebraska, if I say that right.
Oh, that's
Um,
great. Good.
yeah, and y'all probably would hit it off well. But man, thanks for getting up. And I know, like, I
Yeah.
got you up before your coffee, which is like so cruel.
Yeah, I'm waking up as we talk and drink my coffee. I'm a
I
little more
know,
awake.
I know, but man, kudos for starting this business. It's
Oh,
very exciting. I think just keep sharing that message. And wow, I'm so glad that we have you as a resource to figure out what in the world is going on with our blood besides just reading this piece of paper and going, huh, I don't know.
right. No one's
But
there to explain it to you. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hi, Ken. How you doing?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Ken. Cool. Oh,
I
we've
don't
got
know.
some good people here.
How do I write back on here? I have to figure this out.
Okay, so when we go out, we'll be on, you'll go on to the LinkedIn, the event itself, and you'll be able to see these comments.
Oh, okay. I'll write.
Yeah, yeah. But they know that we're acknowledging them. So,
All right.
but
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate
one
you
more
so much.
point, real quick,
Yeah.
like when in around anemia,
Oh,
always want to make
yeah.
sure that people, when somebody's doctor tells them they have anemia, don't just go and take an iron supplement because there's a lot of other reasons why you could have anemia and it might not be an iron deficiency.
Yeah.
For example, you need zinc and B6 to convert iron into heme to make hemoglobin. And if you don't have B6, you can have enough iron floating around in your blood. And if you don't have enough B6 to convert that into heme, then you look like you're anemic because you're not making enough hemoglobin and you
Wow.
have enough iron there. And so taking an iron supplement would be damaging. So that's just one example of a few other ones that I have that really helps people understand that it's not always an iron deficiency when you have anemia. Anyway, I just want to throw that one in there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's a big fact bomb to throw right there. That's
Right
awesome. My
then.
goodness. Yeah.
But that's what my
Absolutely.
software does. It figures all that out with different patterns. And a lot of times conventional doctors don't order the iron panel. You can't figure out the root cause of anemia without knowing the iron markers, iron, ferritin, TIBC, and percent saturation. So those are important. And if you can't get your doctor to order the test that you want and order that iron panel, especially if you have anemia, then come and see me and I'll help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, man, MaryAnn, so good to see you. Thanks
Oh,
for doing this. And I hope everybody contacts you and gets you connected. We'll talk in a little while about some more connections offline. And shout out to our mutual friend, Frank Dew, that we love so
yeah,
much. Thanks for introducing us. That was like super great. So,
he's a great guy. Yeah.
yes. So have a great day, MaryAnn, and we'll say goodbye to our audience for now. Thanks, you guys, for watching. We'll be
Yeah.
talking to you soon.
Thank you, Lena. This was great. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Oh.